Tell you a little story. Who here doesn't like dealing with income tax people? I went down there to income tax. I was looking for my GST rebate check. I went in there. Very true story. I said, yeah, I'm here for my GST rebate. She said, oh, well, what's your social insurance number? I gave it. She punches it in. I'm sitting right here. She's like this. She looks. You haven't filed your taxes for 5 years. I said, really? I thought it was more like 7. She didn't like that. She went off. She said, what kind of person do you think you are? You want all the benefits. You want your road. You want your health care. You're the first to complain if you don't get your welfare. But when it comes time for you to file your taxes, you don't want it. And I got to the point where I'm like, so she stopped. She said, okay, well, I'm going to put in the computer that you've been informed of your obligation to file. I said, nothing would make me happier. She went, huh? I said, yeah, you go ahead and you put that information in that computer. When you're done, I want you to put in that computer that I'm questioning the very validity of the Income Tax Act because I can't find a preamble anywhere. Put in that I'm directing you to read that preamble to me within 7 days, and that if you don't do that, that's gross negligence equaling fraud. When you're done doing that, I want to see the section of the Act empowering you to belittle, berate, harangue, and harass me for 4.5 minutes like you just did. And if you can't show me that, I want to see your supervisor with a complaint form in their hands. She looked at me. She started fish-facing. I waved my hand. I said, go ahead, put it in there. She said, I'll go get my supervisor. She goes, gets her supervisor. I mean, no judgmental here, but I thought it was a Coke machine and a gray flannel dress. She comes out. She goes, is there a problem here? I looked at her empty hands. I said, actually, now there's 2. I said, I directed that girl to come back to tell you to come to me with a complaint form in your hands, and I don't see one. So either you're going to go get a complaint form and come back to me, or you're going to go get your supervisor and tell them to come back to me with 2 complaint forms. She turns as gray as her dress. She leaves, comes back. No complaint form, quality assurance feedback report or something like this. So I start filling it out. I'm like, oh, what's that girl's name? Oh, Mary Sinclair. Mary Sinclair, she's behind the divider like this. I said, what's the date today? The girl tells me, she goes, December 13th. I said, I know that. What year is it? 2003. Okie doke. Hey, maybe we can settle this without a complaint form. Mary over there, she told me that I had some sort of obligation to file or something like that. She said, you do. I said, says who? She said, it's the law. I said, what law? She said, the Income Tax Act. I had gone to their librarian, sweet-talked that librarian moments before, got a brand new 2004 copy of the Income Tax Act. Put that down, said, is that what you're talking about? She looked at it, looked at the date, went, where did you get that? I said, oh, I have my sources. Is that what you're talking about? And she went, well, what does that word right there mean? Pointing out the word act. She looks at us, she went, I don't have to answer any of your questions. I reached into my little briefcase. I grabbed one of their pamphlets. Right on page 6, it says, your right to clear, complete, and accurate information. I said, look at that. It tells me I have a right to clear, complete, and accurate information. Wow, that tells me I have a right to ask questions, and you have a duty to answer them. There's 2,566 pages in this Income Tax Act. I'm pretty sure I can come up with 10 questions per page. When do we start? She looked at me like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because the government stole my baby. She said, well, that's not us. I said, it was people just like you. I mean, and where do you think they get their money from? So let's start. I got some questions. She's like, but. She started to get upset. I said, listen, you don't have time for this. I'll call you back in a week. You read the preamble of that act to me, and I'll accept that I have an obligation. If you can't read that to me, we are going to start asking some questions, and you're going to answer all of them. I call her back a week later. The poor girl is in tears. She's crying. I'm getting in trouble for asking about the preamble. They're telling, I just want to help people get as much back from their taxes as possible, and I don't even know where to ask anymore. I felt pretty bad for the poor woman, eh? I said, look, here, you got my file open there. She opens it up. Yeah, it's right here. I said, did Mary Sinclair put in there that she informed me of an obligation? No, there's nothing here. Okay, here. You put in my file that I agree never to seek information from you, and you agree never to seek information from me, and we're done. Okay, I'll put that in your file. Haven't tried talking to me since.
Did you get your check?
No, I had to give up my $2,500, but I figure that's better. I'd rather have, let them keep their money. I don't want it, for the most part. And it's all about once you start thinking free in order to become free, you start not having the answers, but having the questions. It's all about having the proper question.